Hey everyone, my name's Mitch and welcome to GamerRN. So, I recently picked up a copy of Astrobot. I've heard nothing but good things about this game, but the extent of my knowledge with Astrobot is that I downloaded Astro's Playroom on my PS5 when I first got it, and I never opened it. So let's just say I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I've heard nothing but great things, so I decided I wanted to change that and I picked up a copy. I did look at a trophy guide on powerpicks.com, where I did read that the game would take me roughly 15 hours to achieve a platinum in. There are 43 different trophies to collect in order to achieve the platinum trophy. Now, this game wasn't one of the ones I originally put on my list of games that I wanted to try to get a platinum in this year, but I figured this game was fairly short compared to some other ones on the list, so I threw it in there real quick and I decided I wanted to try to platinum it. I did want to try to do it within 7 days, so that's going to be my deadline for this game. And also, real quick, I do want to cover some background for this game in case you've never heard of it or played any Astrobot game before. Astrobot is a 3D platforming game that was originally created to show the PlayStation player base the unique features of the controller, but the game fully implements all of those features into the game and its platforming. So like I said before, I decided to give myself a 7-day deadline. I'm not really sure why I decided to do that sometimes, but it honestly keeps me going so that way I can get to the next game. For some people, 7 days may seem like a long time for a game that's only going to take 15 hours. But out of those 7 days, I have to work 4 of them, which I may play for 30 to 45 minutes on days I work, so majority of the playtime will be on days that I'm off. But I jumped into Astrobot and honestly, I was super excited to finally try this game out for myself. Not only did I hear great things about it, but it honestly just looked super adorable and just an overall feel-good type of game. So let's jump into it. Starting off the story of Astrobot, while flying around in the mothership, you end up being attacked by the Nebula bully, who actually takes the mothership CPU and breaks the mothership apart. Losing all of the parts and basically being broken, it was looking pretty grim for the little guy Astro. But his dual speeder was able to put him back together, and that's where our journey begins. Now I just want to say at the beginning, I know this game was originally a way to show off the features of the console and controller, so I'm a huge fan of how interactive this game is with the player base. But anyways, after putting Astro back together, we jump on our dual speeder and we go off to rescue all of our friends and put the mothership back together. The first stop on our list is the Gorilla Nebula. Now, I didn't look up a guide for this game ahead of time to figure out the best way to approach it, but I knew I wanted to complete every stage on the first go. So I decided I would search for every bot, puzzle piece, and secret exit if it was available. So after rescuing my first bot, I received my first trophy. 1 bot down. Pun intended. Shortly after that, I found my first puzzle piece. 2 trophies down and I was like 20 minutes in. So I was thinking this would go fairly quickly. But I was wrong, and 3 hours later, I finally got to the construction derby and I managed to dunk the basketball for another trophy. This may take a while. After finishing the main stages of the Gorilla Nebula, I returned to the crash site. This is where I was able to open and use the Gacha Lab for 2 more trophies. Now up to 5 trophies and it was late. I was going to have to pick up the pace the next day. Now on day 2, I didn't get to play until super late after my daughter was in bed. This day, I wasn't going to have much time either. But I knew I had to do better than 5 trophies, especially if I wanted to finish this game within 7 days. So I actually started to play around midnight, and I knew I probably wasn't going to be on much longer that night. But I wanted to get some trophies, so I finished up the Gorilla Nebula and collected the mothership's memory for the trophy. I went back and cleaned up the Gorilla Nebula and found the rest of the remaining bots I needed. I also wanted to unlock the next area before I called it a night, so while I was accessing the satellite to gain access to the tentacle system, I accidentally knocked a bot out of a tower without it collapsing, and that also got me a trophy. After accessing the tentacle system, I knocked out for a few hours, but I woke up early the next day, before everyone else in my house, and I managed to get some playing time in. I only managed to get 2 more trophies over the next 2 days, which was What Is He Saying and Double Dug In. Day 4 was here, and the deadline I set for myself seemed almost impossible, especially now since I had to work the next 4 days. I only picked up half a shift, so I decided when I got home I was going to lock in and start getting as many trophies as I could. I actually managed to get 10 trophies on this day, which included Solid Performance for recovering the mothership's SSD, Splash My Dash for opening the dual speeder garage, Eyes of the Allfather for defeating all the ravens in Bot of War. I managed to rescue all the bots in the tentacle system and collected the Tentacular Spectacular. I also got Time to Cash In, The Lost Legacy, Doing It For You, Time for Change, Thanks Very Much, and lastly, Bot Revolution. Day 5 came along and I had a full shift this day, so I wasn't able to play until after my daughter was sleeping, and I was tired. So I wanted to get as much as I could done within like an hour or 2, and I actually managed to get 1 trophy this day. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna make it. Whatever, day 6 came along and I had to work the full day. So I do what I always do, and after I got off, I tried to get some playing time in. I had 21 trophies done, and I still had 23 to go, and only 2 days left within my deadline. It's not the end of the world if I don't finish, I just wanted to finish the game and get this review out and move on to the next game on my list. I started off the night by collecting the mothership's cooling fan, and collected the trophy Keep It Cool. I returned to the crash site after, and I opened the safari park for a trophy. Inside the safari park, I got a hold of a camera and took a photo at a photo spot for another trophy. I finished off the last remaining stages of Camo Cosmos and collected all the bots for the trophy. After that, I only had 2 areas left with Feather Cluster and Lost Galaxy, which both have a trophy to them, so finishing that was my next goal. But after the Camo Cosmos, I unlocked the mothership's protection covers and installed those for a trophy. There was a easy trophy for walking to the top of the mothership, which I finally was able to do, because there was finally enough ladders to go to the top. After that, I went back to grinding and finding all the bots, and I managed to complete both the Feather Cluster and then shortly after the Lost Galaxy for 2 more trophies. Now remember, this was still after work on day 6, but I decided to finally put in some time because I actually got called off the next day, and they didn't need me at work, so I would have day 7 off. At this point, I did have access to the ending of the game, so I decided I would just go ahead and do it, since I unlocked every bot and every puzzle piece I could out of all the areas. But before I started, I decided I wanted to break down a bot wall for a trophy. Now it's finally time to finish off the game. I just want to say I love the ending for this game. I've never been a huge PlayStation player, but I really enjoyed and loved how they implemented every other console and controller into the big finale. It made for a super sweet ending that was actually kind of heartwarming to see all of the controllers and consoles going to town on the enemies. With that, I was able to take down the Nebula Bully and get back the mothership's CPU, which netted me another trophy. After that, I had every single puzzle piece and I unlocked the golden statue for a trophy. But I already had all 300 bots, which was required to do the final challenge with the golden statue, which was probably one of the more difficult challenges I had, mostly due to my daughter wanting to help me out with it, but I was finally able to finish it and put it behind me to rescue my 301st bot and got the golden bot trophy. With that last trophy, it put me at 33, so I still had 11 more to go on day 7. But a majority of these trophies were miscellaneous ones that only required me to have unlocked certain equipment pieces for bots within the Gacha Lab. And there's already a trophy to unlock 150 items in the Gacha Lab that I had been working on during my time with the game, so I went around and tried to find all the bots that I needed for the last remaining trophies. Thankfully, I had a major portion of them unlocked, so I was able to complete Thaw, God of Thunder, Royally Stuck, Let's Twist Again, Deep Pocket Dragon, KO, SingStar. That was a majority of the ones I could complete around the crash site that I had left. With that, I only had 5 trophies left, including the Platinum. So I returned to one of the first stages I completed on Apes on the Loose to capture the Golden Butterfly. This one was pretty easy, so I managed to do it in no time. Next up, I had to defeat 7 enemies with the Tripcaster. I wasn't exactly sure what that was, so I had to look up a guide. But after that, it was pretty easy to complete. Now the last 2 trophies I needed to get was having 150 items from the Gacha Lab, but also Thick as Thieves, which this trophy requires me to get a picture of Lara Croft and Nathan Drake together. When I was looking up guides on how to do this, it seemed a little tough, but I also saw where there was some people that would just take random pictures and end up getting the trophy. But I decided I wanted to finish the 150 items in the Gacha Lab because most of the guides I saw for Thick as Thieves required you to have the item from the Gacha Lab for Lara Croft, so she would run around the mothership. So I looked up a guide on how to earn coins fast, because I didn't really want to sit here and try to earn another 6,000 coins within a day. And I saw some people say that you could run the bathhouse stage and just restart the beginning because there was about 4 chests that you could collect. And if you restarted, you actually kept the coins that you collected. So that's what I did for another hour, which wasn't too bad. I thought it was honestly going to be a lot worse, but I ended up unlocking all of the items I needed for the trophy, which left me with one left, Thick as Thieves. Now, I never managed to unlock the item for Lara Croft that was needed. The reason people said it made it easier, like I said before, was because it allowed her to run around the mothership, and she would get closer to Nathan this way. I don't want to sit there and save another 2,000 coins just to unlock the rest of the items and hope that I get it. So I just went for the Hail Mary. I called in all the bots, I actually found Laura, and I tried pushing her as close as I could to Nathan. Then I just started spamming photos and hoping for the best, and after about 20 to 30 of them, the trophy finally popped. And with that, finally came the platinum. Oh man, this game was absolutely fantastic. I enjoyed every second and every moment with this game. I can honestly see myself playing this game over and over again. Maybe without going for all the trophies though, and rescuing all the bots. But just to experience all the stages again and experience the final mission, it was great. I definitely recommend this game to anyone, especially if you're a fan of Astro's Playroom. But especially if you've never played an Astrobot game before, I definitely think you should. I really enjoyed how interactive this game is, and I mean it wasn't just interactive with me. The amount of times I walked away from my controller or turned the camera at Astrobot and he became more interactive. I mean, I caught my 2-year-old waving and saying hi, only to hear her tell me that Astro was tired and falling asleep because I was away from the controller for so long. I don't know, but I honestly love that part of the game. Now let's talk about the actual topic behind this video, the Platinum Trophy and the journey to get there. This Platinum felt for the most part pretty natural. A majority of the trophies can be completed while playing the main game. The only ones I could see being kind of annoying for someone is unlocking 150 gacha items, or rescuing all the bots. But other than that, a majority of these trophies fall into your lap as you play the game. Then there are the miscellaneous ones, but they're literally so simple to complete because it just requires the gacha item. And honestly, if you just play the game, you can end up easily with over 10,000 coins after the main story, which can unlock more than half of the items available. So with some luck, you can unlock the correct items for these trophies. Like I said, it felt supernatural, and for a 15-hour estimate, that isn't too bad. I think it took me roughly 18 hours to complete the platinum. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thanks for sticking it out with me. Feel free to check out my channel for different reviews that range from platinum trophy hunting to doing 100% reviews on PC games, or just regular reviews on Switch games. Again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment some games I should play, and subscribe.